Can you pass
Yeah,
all of that
share it
stuff
with
to
the
my
world.
brain?
Share it with the world.
One day we'll do a download. I'll go like that
Yes.
and you go like that.
Oh, wouldn't
Okay.
that be
Just
amazing?
touch foreheads.
Wouldn't that
Sync
be
it.
perfect?
That would be
Yes,
amazing.
God.
right. All right, let's see if we have anyone hopping in before I go live. We usually, when you have a lower number, it's
I know.
not
I
anyone,
know.
which is fine. Oh, yay, here's Shan. Shan, is it Shan? Let me know if I said your name correctly as we open up the webinar here and let people filter in. We have some fun quiz questions I hope you'll partake in. And if you want to talk and actually speak words where we can hear you and ask the questions, we would love it. Otherwise, you can use the Q&A feature, but you can raise your hand to speak and ask the questions out loud. So I will let people in as they attend. We put this one together last minute, so it might just be you, Shan, here with us today to get all the goodies. But I'll tee us up on Facebook just so we can share all of this with the masses. So let's just have some fun and flow with the Q&A today with our coaches here. All right, let me go live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Becca Briley, SWIHA Success Coach, joining you live to discuss our online holistic health and wellness coaching diploma program. So awesome to be here with you, as well as Ryan Wakefield. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, Ryan is our advisor for this program. So just want to hear just a little bit from you, Ryan. What excites you about this program?
About this program, I am still learning this program. So, um, patience has always been appreciated.
Mhm.
I love the program. I love the opportunity to reframe our relationships with nutrition, with our health, and how we can take that out into the world and share it with our clients. And so the program really offers opportunity to set you up for that. I've been an advisor here at SWIHA for a little over a year now. The majority of that time has been with the IHAP students, and recently took on the holistic health and wellness coaching students. So I'm really, really excited to support all of our students on their journey through whatever program at SWIHA.
Awesome. And you will be a lifelong student as well, I hear loud and
Yes,
clear.
yes. I am currently
We
in the
all
yoga body
are.
psychology program. So, yep.
We all are mind, body, spirit junkies. Woo.
Yes.
All right. And we have Janet Lee with us today. Janet, you want to tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about yourself and what excites you about the program?
Yeah. Thanks, Becca. I'm Janet Lee. I've been the online advisor for this program the last 6.5 years and happy to pass it off to Ryan. What most excites me about it is we're seeing a huge need for people wanting more information around health and specifically around nutrition. So this program entitles that, right? So it has nutrition and it has so many other things that will marry with that and just combine really nicely with it so that students can learn how to take care of themselves and their communities and people in their business. So lots excites me about it. That's just it in a nutshell.
I love it. Yeah, you're amazing. She's been an amazing teacher for years, and we appreciate you. Want to make sure y'all can see my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna go through today, and I know Janet, you got a little bit of a time crunch, and I don't like to roll these over an hour, which y'all know I can easily do. So let's explore, let's jump right in, talk about, ask the questions on the online holistic health and wellness coaching diploma program. And this does offer two different specialties. So that's kind of what we're going to compare here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apples to oranges, what you can do with them, what you're intending to do with it already. Maybe you have ideas. So we have some quiz questions for all of you as well. knowing that online start date is right after the new year, enrolling by January 12th. FYI, classroom hours going from $18 to $20 per classroom hour. So if you want to get grandfathered in at the lower tuition, then we need to get you talking to a coach ASAP, so you can make the right decisions for yourself. So let's jump right in. We're going to talk about just an overview of the program, really the reality of being a health and wellness coach, what that means. It sounds fun, rainbows and butterflies. There's another side of it too that we have to be realistic about, building your business, responsibility, without scaring you away, right? Overview of the Whole Foods Culinary Specialist versus the Mindful Meditation Specialty. Some people have a hard time choosing. We understand. We can help you work through those things. And then how these specialties really complement coaching and how it ties all together. So ask the questions, type them in the comments. That's what we're here to do, is just answer it live. And that line is not supposed to be over specialist, but that's what you would be. You would be a specialist. Maybe that was on purpose because you're
Yeah.
also a practitioner, right?
And a
And it's
coach
all
or
about how
whatever.
you brand yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what students will learn while I fix this slide and then hop back in here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Janet.
Yeah. The Whole Foods Culinary Specialty is cool because you actually have 4 classes. So everyone's going to get the basic 5 weeks of whole food and 5 weeks of raw food. And so those classes are laying a foundation, which is perfect because no matter who you're helping with health and wellness, whatever their ailments are, nutrition plays a huge part of that. And we have to take care of ourselves. So those are 2 basic classes. And then when you're taking the specialty, you take 2 additional food classes, which will dive into helping you with meal planning and food photography, how to do demonstrations, how to market a little bit, and really asking the question, how am I taking what I learned in that into your business? Yes, it's going to support you and your family, your community, but what level do you want to take it from there? Do you want to work in a cafe or a restaurant ultimately? Do you want to be really good at food photography or doing demos or doing classes online or in person? Do you want to have a food truck? There's multiple ways that it can be used. So it really depends on your passion, your experience, and really what you see in the future.
Love that. Ryan, what would you add to any of what students learn through this specialty?
I feel like a lot of it is just a reframe, we learn one thing and then we experience another and correct that incorrect knowledge. I had shared a quote in a previous webinar. Experience is the opportunity to correct incorrect knowledge. And so that's what you're going to do in this program, is really reframe that relationship, learn more about foods, learn how to read labels, learn how it affects your body and how it affects your mindset. And that's exciting to me. I'm still learning about all of this, and so to learn as my students go through the program is just even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Every time you say that, it takes me back to this program, right? You're eating 3 meals a day, you're eating these basic food groups,
Yeah,
and
or the food
why
pyramid.
and how and who set these rules and who are they anyway? And then you watch these Netflix series, uneducated, like What the Health, and going, oh my God, I'm scared to go into any sort of grocery store ever
Yeah.
again. Like no aisles safe. Right? And then it
Yeah.
to guide you to our urban farming program, which to each their own, but it's like we can't just not eat. So if we're informed, we can take back our power. We can avoid having to live off of medications, and let food be thy medicine. So
Yes.
Yep.
thank you for saying that. It's undoing what's been done,
Yeah.
with grace, right? And compassion and being gentle with ourselves and each other.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Good. So let's go ahead. I'm curious to know, for those who are with us, what's your why? What really brings you here to this program to check out the options? I want to launch the first poll of culinary specialty question. So anyone who sees this can answer. Those on social can't see this yet. Only people inside the webinar can. So go ahead and answer if you're in here for culinary specialty interest. Was your interest to support yourself, your family, coworkers, and friends? So option 1. Is your interest to create meal plans or classes on how to make healthy food? So that's option 2. Option 3, or to roll nutrition and food into all that you do as a coach, or all of the above. Perfect. All
It's a good
right,
question to
I'm
ask.
gonna
So even when the replay goes, you can answer those for yourself. And these questions on these poll will really help you to determine which way you want to go, why. And those are the kind of questions that your admissions coach should be asking you. So
That's right.
roll nutrition and food into all you do as a
Can you see
coach.
it? Can
Yeah.
you see that?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 100% answer was roll nutrition and food into all I do as a coach. So someone's wanting to add nutrition and food into their tool belt to support their coaching
Mm-hmm.
clients. Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Isn't that fun? I love this
Mm-hmm.
share
I know.
feature.
I like
Um,
those polls.
yeah, and then I want to ask the other question of no, I'll wait for that one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait. Okay, so let's explore the Whole Foods culinary specialty classes as they are designed and in what order, Janet Lee. I will let you start
Mm-hmm.
since you teach some of them.
Yeah, so the raw food and whole food are taken usually the first, not immediately, but within a couple of months of your program. They're both, all the classes here are 5 weeks. So you have plenty of time to explore what to make in raw food cuisine. That you may be familiar with that. I mean, we've all eaten raw food. You've had an apple, you've had a salad, but raw food cuisine is so much more than that. All right, so you might have heard of zoodles. You get into sauces and desserts and taking nuts and seeds and fruits and vegetables and spices and making really amazing foods. And it really opens up your eyes. The 5 weeks of whole food is just that. Whole food is food that's been as close to nature as possible, right? So really low processed kind of foods, and really, again, taking healthy ingredients and putting those together to make something really awesome for you and your family. And we talk a lot about food replacement. It's a huge part of being a holistic health and wellness person, or health and nutrition kind of person. That whole thing around holistic is, I mean, we say mind, body, and spirit all the time around here. For those that's new for, that means that what you eat, your relationship with food, how you present it, how you eat it, when you eat it, all of that is important and part of the equation, and how you were raised and what your culture is. So it's almost like a whole melting pot of all these different ideas. Once you've taken those two basic, if you are taking the culinary specialty, the next one would be the one right next to it. So they are kind of in order. So the dark green one, advanced whole foods and raw cuisine. So now we combine the two and then just go a little bit deeper. And we do a little bit deeper, meaning how can we take what we've learned in both of these cuisines and put them together and help people that have some really serious health conditions. So if they have diabetes or heart disease or any kind of inflammatory condition, which all conditions are inflammatory if you're not balanced, have to do with getting you more in balance, and that's what food will do. So nutrition plays a huge amount in your overall health. You want it to be exercise, you want it to be sleep, and all those things are important, but the biggest equation is what you put in your mouth. The last one is the culinary applications and business perspectives. And this is where I alluded to earlier, where you decide what is it I want to do with this information, right? Do I truly want to have my own wellness center that has a cafe in 5 to 7 years? Then what do I need to do before that? So I need to get decent in the kitchen. Maybe I need to get better at marketing. Maybe I just need to hone in my skills on, do I want to be more plant-based or not? What would I want to be, good at? And then it's spending years of just lots of education and honing in your skills. And so that last class really kind of helps you guide you to where you would go and some of the things that would come up around that. So Ryan says, oh, I really would love to have a food truck. I think my family and I would love to do that. So, okay, what do you need to do to have a food truck? Well, now we have an exercise or a homework assignment where she has to go research it. She's got to go maybe watch some videos to see the pros and cons. What are the challenges? How much money does she need? What does she need to learn to make that happen? What are the rules and regulations in her city or state, right? That's just a tip of the iceberg. And we can explore that with whatever. Becca wants to do something totally different. She just wants to be a stay-at-home with her kids, and she wants to do videos online and show people how to make amazing food. She would answer the same questions. What does she need in her home? Does she need a computer? Does she need a new camera? Does she need new equipment? Does she need a better background in her kitchen and maybe create a place? Maybe she needs to rent a place. Maybe she needs, a videography, whatever. You get the point, is that the list is the same. The focus is different. And so your passion, your experience pulls together into creating something that can be magical and can really work. Because trust me, you don't want to do something that's just check off your list. You want to do something you're passionate about and follow through. And anything is possible. We just have to take the steps to see what's the roadblocks and what kind of support do we need to make it happen. So that's the culinary specialty and so much more. I can't touch on
So
everything.
perfectly said. It literally, that was so perfectly said. And I will just speak to the end of it as a business development marketing nerd. If you don't have your vision laid out, like your niche market, your branding, it will come to your awareness near the end of the program when you're piecing it together. We have business coaches to help you. So Janet named kind of the roadblocks, right, that healing arts practitioners run into, because we love the healing part, we love the fun part, we love the client interaction. But when it comes to the business parts of actually operating your own business, that's where you can get slowed down, maybe have some procrastination around, and you got to figure out how to conquer them one at a time, one at a time. And
Yeah.
you can. And we have business coaches for that on the back end of your graduation to make sure that you can fulfill your dream, which is everything. By the way, we did trunk or treat with our church for the first year, and there was a ton of food trucks, and I'm like, I pray they have a healthy option. They had two. I was
Awesome.
very pleased. I was like, Janet Lee would be very happy to be here right now and say yes to this.
That's cool.
So it was pretty cool because, when you're handing out loads of candy, it's nice to go have a healthy option too.
Absolutely.
So let's dive into the mindfulness specialty, which is the Mindful Meditation Facilitator. Who wants to talk to that?
Do you want to speak
Ryan,
to it,
kind
Ryan?
of like that because you're like a yoga teacher. So,
Yeah.
hey.
Why don't you start and I'll add in if there's anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So with a mindful meditation facilitator, as you can see on the slide, I mean, you're going to deepen your personal meditation practice. Um, I don't know about you, but more often than not, I'm kind of meditating when I cook. I am setting intentions for my meal. I am, blessing it, whether I'm chanting, taking from my yoga training and chanting and, sharing blessings, creating that energetic space, developing your connection with your intuitive intelligence.
Yeah.
We're all raised with different backgrounds and different food habits, and they may not be the best. Maybe you had a great example and, you're going to connect to intuitively what is fueling your body. How do you feel the best so that you can take that experience and share it with your clients. Cultivating a practical, cross-applicable skills for holding space and getting clients to their present moment awareness.
That could be the hardest challenge, right? As human beings. I love that word, right? Human beings, because we're usually humans doing.
Yes.
And to get out of the programming of living up to everyone else's expectations, we're multitasking, we're not fully present. How does that hinder our ability to show up in the world, right? In our relationships, at work, our stress levels are crazy up the roof. What does that do to the system, right? Our chakras probably are getting blocked. We're not processing or dealing with emotions. So a lot of, and what we teach in the somatic psychology courses at SWIHA is mindfulness as a practice. Because if anyone has trauma in their background who's listening or will rewatch this, we have stories and some of them live in our bodies. So we have to learn to adapt and apply these peace practices, I call them for myself, of how to not be triggered or how to keep your frontal lobe online, right? So that you stay in the present moment. And it's this kind of facilitation that you can become that coach to help guide and keep people's awareness in a safe space. This is where we also learn about like our window of tolerance, right? Like how do I show up when this happens? I even have a bookmark that I still use today of like some triggers. What do I do when this happens? Okay, here's what I do, here's what I apply, and here's what I tell myself, right? This is where mantras come into play, those sort of things. So we talk about this usually every time when we explore, but meditation, what does meditation look like for you? Maybe you haven't explored meditation yet for yourself. So for Ryan, it's cooking, right? Or doing yoga.
Yeah.
For Janet, how do you prefer to meditate?
I make myself kind of sit still for 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because I meditate all the time when I'm walking and hiking and when I'm in nature, when I'm in the kitchen. I mean, I do it a lot throughout my day, but so I do it literally as a practice to make me sit still. Because it's challenging for me. It really is. But I have learned to really appreciate it. And I really do like it. I like the breath work. I like that 10 to 15 is a nice sweet spot, even up to 20, but I can do consistently around 10. But anyway, yeah, it makes me just be way more present in my day and let things go. So yeah, I appreciate
love that. Yeah. So see how Ryan is a practitioner, Janet's a practitioner, but I'm talking to them as clients. Like, what's your way? What's your way? Do you have a way? Have you tried these things? So for me, when I kind of coach myself, right, I look at, okay, Becca, when are you not present? When do you have monkey mind? When I'm trying to go to sleep and turn it off. So what did you used to do? Oh, well, I used to turn on The Simpsons and let there be more noise and chaos. Now, what do? Well, now I turn on the YouTube channel and I choose the black screen options. So I'm actually slowing my breathing, longer in, longer out before bed, saying my prayers, setting intention, and letting the binaural beats take me away, right? Like I have a different practice now because what I used to do, and by the way, I was drinking a huge bucket of chocolate milk with that before bed, sugar. What I used to do versus right what we do now. So Ryan's talking about the reframe. So for those of you who are interested in the Mindful Meditation Facilitator, we learn about ourselves in new ways. We practice, so we're practitioners, and then we can facilitate. and host, whether it's groups or retreats or workshops. And Janet named it. Yeah, I'd probably do a workshop series around different sort of segmented topics, which is part of your marketing success. If you say, hey, come join my mindfulness meditation class at 8, is that going to pop? No, probably not. But if I gear it towards moms who are trying to wean their kids off sugar or themselves, I'm more clear on a direction. And then I can set up a consistent flow of workshops, right? All tailored to specific topics. So giving people
Absolutely.
choices is huge.
Yeah.
And then coming up with your own scripts. This is what I love about Linda Bennett and taking hypnotherapy too, because you can learn and integrate what you like into scripts and can guide people where you want them to go. And then you can also get feedback from clients on like, wow, that one was amazing. You know, who wants to add to that? Or questions from anyone while you're here? Let me launch this while we are on topic. Okay,
Yeah,
can y'all see
absolutely.
that one?
Yeah.
All right, so
I love what you had said about mindset, Becca.
mhm.
I'll let
Oh,
you read through the questions and then expand on that.
sure. So if your interest is in the mindfulness facilitator specialty, you are here to, one, add to your existing coaching business. Is that you? Two, create a larger mindfulness biz to support people's health. Or three, use it for yourself to keep you centered. So go ahead and put in your answer. And what were you going to say, Ryan?
You had brought up, how why am I doing this? How am I
Mm,
feeling when I do this? And, a lot of it can come from how we were raised. I was raised with the example of, when I'm stressed, let's go out and buy ice cream and let's go do this and do that and just eat that away instead, and having more notice and awareness about that in my own lifestyle now, I can reframe my relationship with my emotions and food, knowing that that was the past and this is better and healthier for me. And so I'm going to reframe. Yes, I'm stressed. Will a half gallon of ice cream fix that? Probably not. Will it taste good
I love
momentarily?
that.
Sure. But is it going
Yeah.
to serve me in the end? Is it, going to change a cycle? Not really. Um, so noticing those emotions that are associated with our nutritional habits.
Okay, I
Awareness.
love this. Let's all get real. So for those of you who are watching now or rewatch this or with us, let's be honest. So raise your hand or thumbs up or whatever if you've been rewarded with sugary substances, right? Have you been rewarded with candy and or carbs or something that's not conducive to our overall health? Or have you eaten something to fill a void, whether you were aware of it or not, and then felt
For sure.
really bad afterwards?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Shan. Yeah, thank you. She raised her hand. So let me end this and let me share the results. So it looks like someone would like to add this to their existing coaching business,
Cool.
which is awesome.
Very cool.
That's a great intention.
I think a lot of people don't know what meditation or even mindful is. I think it's been around a little bit and we use it quite a bit, and it is a pretty hot word, now. But we still have to remember there's people that don't know what it is. So meeting them where they're at and teaching them even how to just be aware of their breath, just to even just be aware of it, or to take a minute or two, because back to that doing versus being, if we're always doing, then, how can we sit? How could we possibly sit for even 2 minutes? So it's cool. It's so broad. It can be used in so many ways.
Yeah, amazing points. So the classes, you obviously, like Janet just said, you may not really know what it means, and that's okay until you apply it and embody it in new ways. that you can allow it to evolve, right, with yourself. So it could have, maybe it used to mean this. And now that I've practiced it and embodied it in a new way, it means something totally different. Like that's the journey of consciousness, right? That's our evolution, right then and there. So kind of like Ryan said, I learned to do things the right way. Well, maybe they weren't wrong. They were right then, but they're not now.
Yeah.
Right? It was acceptable then. So it's all about perspective. So techniques is everything. And we just talked about that, whether it's swimming, hiking, sitting, listening to music, moving, doing yoga. You get to learn these different techniques. Obviously, part of the homework is practicing them on yourself. You'll be coached from other coaches, so you'll have it practiced on you as the client. And I love the SWIHA education because we're so unique in that we want you to experience both ends of the spectrum. We don't want you to just sit in the coach's seat and be hosting all the time. We want you to receive. We want you to know what it feels like and have a different perspective on, okay, wow, now I can see how I would probably want to integrate this. I probably need to ask that question. You become more well-rounded and aware as a coach. Who wants to add to that?
I think another thing that was really great going through some of the coaching courses for me was like how am I receiving this and how does this feel in my body? Like what is this bringing up for me? Because that's all, information from you for you so that you can not only have that experience of being the client in the sessions, it offers that opportunity to meet your clients when that time comes, but it also creates a little bit more self-awareness. It without somebody like right at you, like, what are you feeling right now? They're just questions in your coaching sessions that kind of stir something. And it's like, huh, okay. Like that's interesting because I'm feeling this way about that question that you just asked. And so I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that. And, you're experiencing what that feels like in your body. So it offers opportunity to, show more compassion and grace with your clients in that coaching session and also say, I haven't been in your shoes before, but I can relate to your situation based on my own personal experience. And so it just elevates your education here and your experience so that you can show up better for your clients.
Nice.
And yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well said.
Validation is important. It's the I hear you. I leave out my relatability with my clients completely. Otherwise my ego will want to kick in here and there and take it somewhere it shouldn't in an old story. So I will validate and keep asking the coaching questions. But yeah, here's a powerful tidbit that I learned by not being well practiced as a practitioner. When you facilitate group circles, set intention and clear expectations of sharing, right? Because you will have that one client, right, who wants to talk for a while and it's all about them. God bless them. And we want to keep it to 2 minutes, short and sweet, share this, this, and this, or just share one thing, right? So you have to learn how to also navigate the tricky components of who's showing up. Are we oversharing? What's appropriate? What's not? So setting clear boundaries and guidelines that, like, even when other people are speaking, we don't interrupt. And, it's those little things that we don't think we have to remind humans, but we do. and
Yeah.
and it's okay and it's healthy to as a leader, as a facilitator in that space. What comes up for y'all when you look at the word
Yeah, I think
facilitate?
that's really important, and you'll get that in that third bubble there, when you're really pulling it together to be the facilitator and kind of the ground rules, of that responsibility to be the lead, where you leave your ego at the door and you're there to serve and you're there to really kind of just manage the making sure everybody gets to talk and, things like that. But it kind of runs itself if you set it up properly, if you set it up
Yeah.
right from the beginning with those guidelines, and they can be rules that the whole group makes, right? So it's not like you're going in there and saying you can't do this, can't do that. Now I have a request, right? I can say I request that you leave your phones, turned off in your purse or in your car. That's my request. Does everybody agree? Yep, that sounds good. Okay, then that goes on the list. If somebody disagrees, then, we talk about it. But anyway, once you have your guidelines up front, then it can be really nice and beautiful experience. Being a facilitator, I think is a very rewarding experience. From a business perspective, it's a really win-win situation because the clients can pay a reasonable amount and you're still making what you want or more. And so instead of charging, more for a one-on-one, you can charge, a tenth of that or, less, way less than that. If you have a group of people, they're happy because it's less and you're happy because you're still making the money that you deserve for that time. So I think it's beautiful. Plus you learn from each other. I could go on and on. I think group facilitation is just really powerful. Any kind of groups. We know that when there's other people there, we learn from them. And as a facilitator, you're creating it, doing kind of all the behind the scenes stuff, setting it up in a safe container, and then after that, it really runs itself. So I love that concept.
Yeah. Safe container. That is it
Mhm.
right there. Good.
And the last class that falls in here and is the conscious eating or the um, mindful eating would also fall under this because that's where you're really talking about your relationship with food. What are some of the things that, that class can be interesting because
Mhm.
you suddenly realize, oh yeah, I do some of those things that Ryan was talking about, right? In our family, we didn't talk about things, so we went over here and all went out to Baskin Robbins, or we all just laughed it off and put it under the rug and went and made dinner, right? All those things are awarenesses that we know about ourselves, but we haven't really looked at. And so if you're willing to be brave and you're willing to do that in a supportive environment that we create, it's a really beautiful experience so that you can heal and move on and be there for other people. Because we don't want to not do our work and show up as a facilitator and then we get triggered from somebody, right? Or we just get kind of thrown off. Not that we have to be perfect, but if we at least work through that stuff and we're clear on what our boundaries are and what our stories are and that they need to be left, at the door, I can be a vessel for other people instead of being in my own stuff. So,
Yeah. Amen. I'm going to launch this question while we talk about how everything goes together, let people think on it. But which classes have the biggest interest to you within this 755-hour program? Is it 1, mindfulness, 2, culinary, 3, health coaching, or 4, nutrition? And this is going to be the hard part for everyone, right? Because it's like, oh my God, all of those things matter. They
yeah,
all matter. And technically they can all work together.
for
They
sure.
they do. But
Yeah.
we're just curious to see what this consensus is here.
It's like what initially
Um,
really caught your eye, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And for those answering, share a little deeper, like Janet just said, what caught your eye, and then take it deeper. Why did that catch your eye? So mindfulness. It looks like mindfulness was our top
oh, really? Okay.
answer.
Nice.
Interesting. Usually
Okay.
it's like a nutritionist, nutrition or,
Mm-hmm.
so this is good. We must have talked about it really well. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. So let's hear your why. Why the mindfulness? I want to know that. Sharing results. Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So let's talk about how all of this does truly work together and talk about really what it means to be a coach. So for me, and I want to hear from you all as coaches, is really that it's not about me. Nothing in that space is about me except I'm holding the sacred space for you to explore you on the mind, body, spirit level, I will ask the powerful questions to help you speak words maybe that you've never spoken before. Maybe some awarenesses will come to mind that we need to put together a plan to coach around, to process through, and to create change, right? Knowing if we have these tendencies, if we have these program behaviors, what new activities can we do to reset that? So for me, coaching is about holding sacred space and asking the powerful questions, never telling anyone what to do. It's just the asking and then being the accountability partner for my clients. What about you, Janet and Ryan?
Yeah, I think you said it well. It's I think for me it's remembering why I'm there, that I'm there as an open vessel, so I do my best to center myself, leave my stuff at the door and show up. And I always use the mantra or the words to myself of let's go have fun. So it's very, for me, I try to look at it as very playful. Not that
Yeah.
I go in laughing or anything like that, but playful in the sense of what kind of words can I use that, aren't too harsh? How is my body language? How do I show up? Because truly I am a vessel. I really believe that. So I'm asking the questions. I'm not attached to any of the answers. I'm just there to continue to get them to be more open and be curious about maybe what this journey looks like or what they're saying. So I do my best just to show up as open as I can and leave the judgment aside and just really keep asking questions so that because they have all the answers and I truly believe that. So that's the way I do it.
Yeah,
Love
you
that.
both spoke very beautifully to it. And I feel similarly, I like to bring in visuals a lot. I'm an analogy person. And so when you think of holding space or holding a container for someone, the visual that comes up for me is like I can't hold a container from the inside. I'm holding the container from the outside because this container is for my client. And if hold the container not from the inside, if I got my fingers in it, then I've got my fingers and stuff in
Mm.
their stuff,
Mm.
right? And we are intelligent beings. We have the answers, and holding that container for them to find their answers in that container of soup, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It's such an amazing thing to be witness to, seeing the light bulbs go off, like, oh, I knew this, and you're just like holding the container, like, yeah, I know you know this, you're amazing and you're intelligent. And I have questions that I'm going to ask you that are going to just like spark those memories. They're going to turn that light bulb on. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I know, and so for me, coaching is holding that container, but then also, um, really getting excited about my clients making connections, discovering things that they already, have knowledge on within themselves and their being, to then, go out and make those changes in their lifestyle that are just going to improve so many things.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. So I'm asking you as coaches to be or coaches that already are and have their own practice, how long have you been thinking about doing an online program? So we have the options 1 to 2 years, 2 to 4 years, or 5+ years. How long have you been on the fence? And knowing that a lot of people who actually do enter our program, there is no judgment or predetermined idea of how old one should be to do this. Oftentimes it's people who are like, I've been working for the man all my life. I want to become my own boss. I want to do my own thing. I want to build my business on the side while I wind out. And I want to have something purposeful to do in retirement. It's going to be different for everybody. Then you have your 18-year-old who's just out of high school, who's just like set. I'm set. I know what I'm doing. I know my demographic. I'm ready to go. So no matter where you are, it's all about the timing and that commitment of the realities of what this is. So it looks like we've just been found. Perfect timing. Share results. Yay. I love it. Yes.
Cool.
And then the ultimate question is when you graduate, what do you want to do? And why won't it let me launch this question? Weird. When you graduate, go ahead and type your question, your answer in. When you graduate, so it's not an if I enroll or if I finish the program, it's when, right? We speak in manifestation terms. So you want to be a health and wellness coach. You want to be a holistic nutrition coach. You want to be a mindfulness health coach. Or name what you think you would like to be or call yourself. Maybe it is a facilitator or a guide. You can already have that idea in mind. Or maybe you have literally no idea. You just want to help other people. So yeah. Let's see. Jan, did you raise your hand or want to share? Do you want to share anything at all? And you can unmute yourself if you have anything to say or ask about the program.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello. How are you?
Hi, sorry, I don't know how to work this stuff. So I couldn't get to
You're
it.
good.
I plan on that. I want to start a business, a driving service, actually, where the drivers are life coaches, holistic life coaches, as
Ooh.
and you know, I have some sort of a want to help people, obviously. But yeah, that's my idea. It's called Spiritually Guided. I started it. But
Nice.
I've noticed that people, they just reach out to strangers better than anybody. Like, quite honestly, I've heard so many crazy stories and connected with people, so many people, you know, and helped them just by talking to them or letting them talk to me, you know. So
Mm,
that's what I want to do.
yeah.
Is intertwine everything into the healing and stuff. So yeah, that's what
I
sorry, just
love that so much.
think.
Yeah, when you think about what you share, like with your Uber driver, your Lyft driver, and it's like, "Huh, why do I feel inclined to fill this empty space with with things that deep where
Right.
they're probably like, oh wow. But that's valid. That is a very cool idea, and no one else can take Shan's idea who's listening. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. So are you leaning towards the mindfulness part then?
Yeah.
Mindfulness facilitator?
Yeah. I mean, I'm wanting to study everything. I'm also going to school from psychology, so I'm trying to learn every aspect of the healing from it,
Awesome.
you know. So I'm excited to learn all of it.
Cool.
Good.
Awesome.
Well, I will put a link in the chat so you can book your one-on-one with a coach to talk about what the enrollment process looks like. Or if you want to do a full-time program versus start with a part-time program, talk about financial aid, everything. You know, you have that support to coach around. Sound good?
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you for
great. Thank you so much
Thank you.
sharing.
for
Yeah, awesome.
coming today.
All right, so let's see here. In wrapping up, we got questions asked. And Shan, thank you for unmuting and being heard. So the next step is really to just connect with the coach, talk about one-on-one, you know, what your truths are, what your intention is, the end result. We say starting with the end in mind, you know, what does it look like? And knowing that time is of the essence. Anything at all to add, Janet or Ryan, while you're here? Or any last questions, Shan, or anyone watching? No, we feel
I
good.
think, yeah, just as I always say, don't delay. I mean, it doesn't hurt
Mhm.
anything to talk to an admissions coach. The
Mhm.
next offering is, you know, coming up. As we know, the holidays will be, and January 12th is very fast approaching. So at least get a call in and see. And if you lock in at least the $75 admission cost for the application, then you can lock in that $18 instead of the 20 if you choose to. So we hope to see you.
Yes.
Yeah. And let me go ahead. I'm going to put this in chat. so that Shan, you can connect with Crystal Riveras. She's one of our online coaches. But she can support you in asking the coaching questions. So it can be about you in this space and getting right enrolled, we call it. And deciding when the best time will be for you. So for those of you who don't know, we are a Title IV funded school. We do accept financial aid for those who are looking to make this a career for yourself, right? To give back in the world in a loving and profitable way, as our mission states. So yeah, so explore the possibilities with us. Like Janet said, you know, waiting is just postponing what you're called and destined to do, but just being realistic about when you do it, how you do it is everything. And what better time than after the new year, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, I will put this link in Facebook as well and other social media outlets so people can also book their one-on-one with Crystal to talk deeper about their why.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Thank
thank you for joining us, everyone. I'll put the links here. We look forward to connecting very soon, mindfully.
Yes.
All right. Have a blessed evening.
Bye-bye.